All right, Dayo. So talking about Arsenal, Dayo, right? And we know why are you laughing, Dayo? All this, okay, but talking about Arsenal, and I'm on. I believe Arsenal need a striker to win the league this season. And hear me out. The reason why I say so is because it's not because Arsenal can score goals. Not because Arsenal can score goals. Arsenal can score goals. They have too many players. They have players that can score goals. They have Odegaard, Kai Havertz, Bukayo Saka, Trossard, Martinelli. Like they have like five guys that can bring in goals. But I feel when you are going up against a manager like Pep Guardiola, it comes down to very, very fine margins. Right now, I think Arsenal are 99%. Bringing in a striker is that 1%.
It's a striker, yes. I hear there's an argument for a striker, and I hear the argument. But if we look at where Arsenal was last season, right? I've broken down this thing so many times, and I keep saying to myself, we were two draws away from tying City. And if we then look at goal, yeah, we were 2 draws away. That's 2 points. We were 2 points behind you.
Yes.
If we tied 2 games, if we tied the Aston Villa game and the West Ham game, we have the same points at the end of the season.
But
here's the thing now. Then goals difference, right? You scored more goals, but the goals difference, I think we had a better goals difference, if I'm not mistaken.
No,
you guys had 95 goals, we scored 91, but we conceded less than you guys did. Yeah, so we had a better goals difference, so we would have gone on to win.
No, we scored more goals now. We had 96.
Yeah, but your goals difference. So let me look at it. I have to look at that data again. I think the way it's done is the person with the larger goals difference. So if you get, yes, it's not about how many goals. So if you score 95 goals but you concede 40, your goals difference is 55. If I score 90 goals and I concede 29, my goals difference is 70 something or 60 something. So I have more goals difference, and that way I go on to win. I think that's my understanding of how the goals difference works based on what I've read. But so for me, when there's not a wide gap between Arsenal and City right now, we're chasing City, we're really chasing them down. I think what we need is a change maker, not really as a striker, but somebody who, look, City have Rodri who can decide in a game, I'm done with this nonsense, I'm going to go and score. They have KDB who can do that. They have Foden who can do that. And they have Haaland who can do that. You can play the ball over everybody. It's going to corner kick, and Haaland will somehow reach it, do a bicycle kick, somersault, head it in the air, and it will still go into the net. And you're like, what we need is that type of player, a change maker, somebody like an Eden Hazard in this Arsenal team right now, that in those games where we cannot score, just takes the game by the scruff of the neck, goes on, scores 1 goal. We know we can defend. We're not going to let them score. We lock up that game. We don't have those players. We attack as a team, we play as a team, and we defend as a team, as a unit, and we spread the goals. So we need that one wow factor player. It doesn't have to. It could be a big name player, or it could just be a very talented, overconfident young player that is going to hit the ground running, like how Haaland came in his first season and scored a random almost 50 goals plus, right? Get a player like that. Get a player like that. He doesn't really have to be a striker, but somebody who can just, and that's what I think good. Everybody's saying it has to be a striker. I hear the cry for it, but it scares me that they're not looking at. For me, this Arsenal team just needs the mentality to say we can beat everybody.
I think
City is different for you guys.
I think no. To be honest, you say you guys need a change player. I think you guys have like game changers players in your team. I can call 2-3 guys. Odegaard is there. He's a game changer. Odegaard is a game changer. Right now, I can say Kai Havertz is a game changer for Arsenal. So, Bukayo Saka is a game changer for Arsenal. So
I think they are game changers when they work together. I'm saying, like, you guys have like Foden can take the ball from deep and cut between two. That Foden turn around, bypass 2 players, go, and boom, he's in the net. Yes, we have players that maybe something. I think Arteta wants the team to play a certain way, so our players don't. Odegaard's first season with 2 seasons ago scored 15 goals. Last season did only 8. For us. Because he started playing in a different and in a different position. He's been played in a different. He's been told to drop deep collect the ball and then progress the ball again. So it changes the dynamics because of how Arteta wants them to play. That's the thing for me. So I think that we're short of just that wow factor player, whether the person is up front or in the midfield, somebody who in the games that we just need a goal where it's just not happening for us, can just take the game by the scruff of the neck, score that goal. Or we even just need sometimes maybe even our defenders to just not switch off like they did against Aston Villa last season, 20 to 25 minutes to go and concede 2 goals. Like that's what we need.
Okay, will you agree with me when I say, like, Pep, it took him a while before he won the Champions League in Man City, and the season Haaland came, that was, to me, I feel that was that 1% for that Champions League, because he didn't need that striker for the Premier League, but Haaland was that 1% difference for that Champions League. So when Haaland came, it's the Champions League came, and I feel for Arsenal, I feel that's the same thing. A striker, and even having a striker up front, I feel will even it changes the way teams are scared of Arsenal, but I feel it changes the way teams will now even see Arsenal actually gets that
striker. And I hear you. I like I said, the person could be in the striker's position. I'm not averse to us getting a striker. I'm saying but it has to be a striker that can be a game changer. Because I hear the shout for Victor Osimhen. I hear the shout for Victor Gyökeres. I hear the shout for all these great strikers. But I've said this over time and time again. This season, we have spent 27 million on David Raya. On Raya. We spent 33 million on Calafiori. We might spend another 25 million pounds on Merino. Yeah. We sold Emil Smith-Rowe for 35. Yes. We've sold Lokonga. We've sold Tavares. We've gotten rid of players for 7 million, 12 million here, 35 here. If Eddie leaves for maybe 15, 20, whatever the case is, we've literally brought in as much money as we have spent on players, literally, right? Give or take. There's maybe a 10 million difference there. So we have money, right? Which means for me, what I would suggest, if I were the one running the club or I were Edu, I would take 130 million. I'll walk into Newcastle and I'll slap it on the table and say, give me Isaac. Give me Alexander Isaac. I'll be like, here you go.
Like Bar Hazard, if you take away, so I say Hazard, if you take away Haaland, I think if you look in Europe, I'll say Isak,
Ollie Watkins,
Victor Osimhen.
I rate Ollie Watkins,
this guy that plays for this club, is it Leipzig? What's his name?
Sesko
too. That's another
Sesko. I think Sesko is a tier below these other guys. I would say Sesko is a tier below the other strikers. But Alexander Isak for me is the type of striker that Arsenal would need to get it over the line. And I'll tell you why, because he can drop deep as well. He plays, his link-up play is good. He's explosive on that left, which would allow Martinelli to drive in as well, which means that if Isak goes to the left, Martinelli can cut in. And Martinelli as an inside forward is not a bad inside forward. His finishing is good. I mean, he seems to always find the net whenever he comes on the inside, Martinelli.
Yes.
Which which allows Isak to drift out to that left as well. And Isak is also dangerous on that inside left. So I think that that's the kind of striker that I think Arsenal needs. And he's a game changer because in certain games, Isak will find the back of the net. Isak will just he will find the back of the net, So that's the kind of striker that I would want us to go for if we wanted to go for. Of course, we're not going to get him because Newcastle is not selling him. But if Newcastle sees the money and he buys into the project, then who are we not to give it a try? After all, we put 105 down for Declan Rice last season. If we've broken even already this far in the window, we just put the big money down. Move like a big club.
Of course. See, Isak, very good. Isak is very good. He knows how to play with the ball. Like you said, he can drop deep, connect with the likes of Martinelli and Saka, then making those runs inside. But when, to be honest with you, if anyone had told me Haaland will be, because I know why I'm going this direction. If anyone had told me Haaland will be a Pep Guardiola kind of player, I would say it's a lie. You know why? Haaland is not good on the ball. You know that.
Yeah.
It was more of a Harry Kane. We were trying to get Harry Kane. Because Harry Kane it's almost like Isak as well. And Pep, the fundamentals for his players are you must be very good on the ball. That's the basics for his players. So when we're actually going for Haaland and we got Haaland, I was like, this guy is not really good on the ball. He's a goal scorer. He knows how to run in behind. Now, Victor Osimhen, and when Haaland came in, Pep had to adapt to play to Haaland's strengths. You understand?
Yeah.
So someone like Victor Osimhen now, he's not good on the ball. Victor Osimhen, not really good on the ball. But he has that ability. He's very good on the air.
He has the explosive runs as well.
He knows how to run. So I think bringing in someone like Osimhen, who to me, I say Osimhen Isak. To be honest, just for me, I'll go with Osimhen. I don't know, maybe just because there's that Nigerian bias.
I think for me, my own reason for choosing Alexander Isak over Osimhen is Alexander Isak has already played in the Premiership.
Okay,
Arsenal is in the position where we cannot afford a 2-3 game or our striker that we bring in is beginning to try to blend. We can't afford that because we're going against Pep Guardiola. A Pep Guardiola who likes players to play a certain way, but bought a Haaland and made it work. And in that season, Haaland scored 50 plus goals.
Yeah.
Like that tells you everything that you need to know about a manager like that. That he's the greatest, if not one of the greatest, and if not the greatest of the last 10, 15 years in this generation. Right. So Arsenal we can't afford a profile of the player that when he comes in needs any kind of time to adapt. It has to be somebody that we can just come in and hit the ground running if we really want to win. Now, if we want to project and say, okay, Osimhen comes, he blends in a few games this season. Even if we don't win next season, we know we're going for it because now we have a complete squad. We've played together. I don't want to do that anymore. We've done that. We've tried it. Let's just get a player who can get us over the line. And I think Alexander Isak, yes, is the player that can do it for us. That's the person that I believe in.
The point here. Right now, the way Arsenal is right now, I feel any player that comes in, slots in, just like Man City, slots in. Because Arsenal creates so many chances. There's no way Arsenal creates so many chances. And in that striker position, someone like Victor Osimhen is there. Because one believing Arteta wants to do this season, my suspect, because is maybe Declan Rice going forward now. That's if Partey is fit, then it will be like Declan Rice and Odegaard will be the two guys supporting
the striker, the forward line.
The forward line. Then Partey will just be the one doing the dirty work and all that. So
actually, if you watch the way we played in preseason, you'll see that Zinchenko is the one that dropped into that 6th role. Now we're not pushing Zinchenko up into the midfield higher anymore. He's receiving the ball, having the likes of Saliba and Gabriel on his right and left, while he then and then Partey pushes up forward some more, which gives security over Zinchenko now because he's not good defensively, but he's good. But he's good with the ball at his feet. And if you see what he's doing now, he's able to see the pitch from behind and see more of the field, and able to distribute the things the passes he was making in Lyon. I was just like, this is the Zinchenko that I knew in the first season.
He's giving you guys Cancelo S square.
Because last season there was just too many people in that role. Whenever he inverted, you had when we played Jorginho, Rice and Jorginho,
Odegaard.
Rice and Odegaard. Every time he inverted, him and Jorginho were basically clashing because he wants to take that role, but Jorginho is dictating the tempo already, so he looks useless. He doesn't know where to go. And by the time he moves forward, because he's inverted, whenever they counter to the left, he's way off his mark. Now he's running backwards. They beat him and then they score. I know everyone's like, oh, Zinchenko is crap. But if we use him right, I think I see what Arteta is trying to do with the preseason. Yeah. It could be if I want a striker, I want Alexander Isak. If he's not getting a striker, he should get me a wide forward. He should just take the money and go get Nico Williams.
Nico Williams.
Yes, just go get Nico Williams. Just go out there and be like, hey, look, here's the money. I know he said he wanted to stay, but here's the buyout clause. Boom, done.
But
do what we did with Partey. Pay the money and brought him in.
Okay, but when the season Liverpool won the league, they were like, you can say they were like extraordinary in all departments. Defense, midfield, attack. I think that season, 1920 season, I was checking it. I was looking at it online. Mo Salah scored 19 goals and provided 10 assists. That's almost 29 goals.
29 GA. Yeah.
Goals contribution. Mane did 18 and 7 assists or so. You can see the number. Those two guys alone. And then they had the Alisson, the Van Dijk, and the rest. But those two guys. So if this season Arsenal, to me, I think if Arsenal don't get a striker, if they decide to go this season and like play without a striker this season, then the likes of Bukayo Saka and Martinelli, the previous season where they were both, I think Martinelli did like
15 goals and
yeah,
15 goals and about maybe 6 assists.
I'll say maybe
I don't remember this list.
I'll say both of them will have to push it up. Like the likes of Martinelli and Saka will have to go up to that 18, do those kind of numbers.
Yeah, but Bukayo Saka last season did those numbers last season.
16. He did 16.
16 and about maybe 8 assists. He did like 24 GA in total.
That's very good.
Which is not bad, But then Leandro Trossard, who came in and filled in for
12.
because who came in and filled in for Martinelli because of Martinelli's injury back and forth. Leandro Trossard did 12 and I think maybe 16, like 4 assists and 11, 12 goals or something like that. Random. I mean, he did double digits, like 16 as well. Plus Martinelli's 5. So if we add that left wing, the left wing provided the 21 assists and the right wing provided the same 24 assists. Like Arsenal is not doing badly with the goals and assists. We are going up against
that's the 1%.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. That like even with the striker, there's no the guarantee for me is in the games the guarantee for me is the mentality. The Arsenal mentality needs to change.
No. I don't agree with you in that one.
I'll tell you what I mean by
I think that one has been sorted right from.
No, I'll tell you what I mean by the mentality. Now we've come close twice. This is where we say third time is the charm. There's no mistakes. We're going for 114 points. We're beating everybody home and away. That's the mentality I'm talking about. Like the team needs to come this season and say, look, we don't care if you're City, if you're Liverpool. Once we have a game plan from our manager, and that game plan, we will execute game plan A, B, C, D, E throughout 90 minutes and make sure we finish every game in 90 and we walk away. Like that's the mentality I'm talking about. There's something that City has, right? Because they've been winning. When City comes out, City knows City is coming there's a confidence. There's a confidence of, we're dominating. Yes. Other teams are also playing on the back foot because they're like, it's City. So they're playing on the back foot, which already gives an advantage to City.
I used to wait. That's a very good one. But I used to say this thing like, I think there's this like when players are in the tunnel and let's say let's say somebody like Van Dijk sees Erling Haaland, he's like, man, today is going to be that day. You understand? There's that fear to Erling Haaland too. Is seeing Van Dijk.
He's like,
So I feel if Arsenal has like a striker, there will be that when defenders are seeing someone like you said, an Isak or a Victor Osimhen, they're like, damn man, today these guys like.
I hear you. There's a shout for it.
That's the 1%.
I hear you. There's a shout for it. I think that the 1% can be found in different aspects. I agree with you. That's the 1% on the striker side. So on the forward line, yes, a massive striker like that would make a big difference for Arsenal this season. Definitely, 100%. I cannot even deny that. But if we don't go for that, one thing I like that we've done so far is when you're strong at something, people say, oh, why do you focus on that? Focus on the weak side. No. If you're strong at something, shore up that strength again. We shored up our strength. Best defense last season. We brought in another defender while we still have Timber coming in, who's also for me a fresh defender. We haven't used him properly yet.
Yeah.
So we basically have 2 good, solid new defenders added to our backline that had the best defense last season. Even though Zinchenko was a weak link and Kyrgios struggled in left back as well, we still had the best defense last season. And now we've shored up the whole defense. Great. If we show up the midfield in Marino, who had the best dual winning percentages from last season across the whole of Europe, that's a solid one with a Declan Rice in front of our back four. We know that defensively was solid. In the games because sometimes in football we know this, the goals just don't come no matter how like you do everything.
Right.
City did everything against us. Pressed us when we came to your home. You pressed us. We played so deep for 90 minutes, but the goals just never came for City. And that's because we defended very, very well.
Yeah.
So in those kind of games, that's what I'm talking about. Against Aston Villa last season, we were playing a similar type of game. We were pressing. The goals weren't coming, but then we went and we allowed them we conceded to them. In those games, that could be the 1% where you defend solidly. But you bring in the right...
What do you say about for the West Ham game, the Gabriel Jesus Smith? You remember that header where he leaped?
Yes. So those things happen, and it's like, it's annoying that it happens. Our players should do better. We're a better team, we're better structured, we're better organized. We should actually win this game. But if it doesn't happen, you just make sure you're not losing the game. Because when I look at the stats again, and I think you and I have talked about this off camera before, where I said last season City did not win more games than Arsenal. You won 28 games, I won 28 games.
Yes.
If it's by winning games alone, we were match for match. Like, that's to tell you where we're at.
Yes.
The difference is that you lost only 3 games. I lost 5 games.
5. Yes.
So losing 2 games cost me the league.
Okay, so imagine. Okay, so now let's say you add that striker now, and Gebeji just scores that chance. So you therefore means you lose 1.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But
or you draw the Aston Villa game.
But better still, think about it. Like, I mean, if I had tied those 2 games, if I had drawn those 2 games that we lost, the 2, like, if I had just drawn the West Ham and the Aston Villa game, we're on the same number of points with City.
Very true.
Because the difference is City lost 3 and drew 7.
Yeah,
it's not like City lost 3 and drew 3 and then went on to smash everybody. City drew 7 games.
Yes.
We drew 5. We just needed 2 draws to match City. So for me, it's like, is a striker the person giving us the 2 draws, or are we now going to look at the team? We've raised the floor. We have a couple of floor raisers. We need a ceiling raiser, but is this ceiling raiser, does it necessarily have to be up front? Could it be could it be a winger? Could it be like, a winger, somebody on the wings?
Yeah.
Mbappe in Real Madrid now. Rodrigo is there. Vinicius Junior is there. Take the money, go there and slap it on Rodrigo. If you want to bring up, I'm telling you, if you give Madrid the money right now, he's not going to get as much playing time as he thinks he's going to get now with Mbappe on the team, and let's be honest, like, so go there, slap the money on him and bring him to Arsenal. So that's what I'm talking about. So it could be any one of those positions, anywhere across the front 3 that I think, really needs, because people say Bukayo Saka needs backup. We can throw Gabriel Jesus to back him up there.
Yes. But Jesus can do what Jack Grealish does for us, whereby he doesn't really attack like Martinelli on that byline. He's more like stop and start to dribble and move inside. But to wrap up, Dayo, this is it. Just to wrap up, do you think like without a striker is possible?
Yes, awesome. I still think it's possible. I think a striker just makes it easier.
A striker makes it easier.
Striker just makes it a lot more easier to actually achieve it, and puts a little bit more assurance on people. Like, okay, at least fine, we have a striker, he'll score goals, right? Because scoring goals is not our problem.
Okay, but I feel with a striker, that's like the icing.
That's the icing on the cake. Yeah, that's the cherry on the.
For us, I feel that's the icing on the cake, because
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%.
When I look at Arsenal, every defensively, you guys were better than us last season. Like, I couldn't even believe it. I'm like, Jesus Christ, what's happening, Man City? Defensively, you guys were better than us. Midfield, you can say, give or take how you want to say it. Attack-wise, I think that's maybe where like the difference is much clear in terms of attack-wise between Man City, Arsenal, because of Haaland, and like that difference is there. But I just feel that striker is just what Pep Guardiola. Because Pep, see, people say to beat that 1%. That 1% is what gave us the title last season, and that was the game against against Tottenham. To me, I feel that was our 1%, whereby we brought in our backup goalkeeper, did the job in terms of he came in and he made that save.
I think people underestimate Pep Guardiola. The 1% between Arsenal and City that everybody keeps saying, it's the small margins right now. Pep is going to up those margins to 2 or 3 this season. No, that's the thing. You have to catch up to Pep. So I agree with you that we need a player in the striker's position, because I would rather have Kai Havertz as my substitute striker, which is what I've said all season. But I'm also looking at it and saying to myself, if we don't have the right profile of striker on the market to fill that position, I would rather then go and get a wide forward that fits a better and I'll put Martinelli on the pecking order. Martinelli is coming in. Trossard, you are the third winger, and Trossard can play across the front 3, which is a good thing, because that means in certain other games I can play Trossard in the middle, or I can play him to the right to back up Bukayo Saka. If Gabriel Jesus is injured, I can put Trossard on that side. So there's versatility in the front line. So Bukayo is not overworked. Martinelli is managed properly, and I'll bring in a better winger than he is and put him there. A better, So that's how I look at it. I know that the front striker position for me would be key. There's only 3 strikers on my list that I would go for, which is number 1 is Alexander Isak. We're not getting him for sure.
Yeah.
Number 2 is Victor Gyökeres. I don't know what they're doing, but this evening I heard that Sporting is looking at Victor Roku or Rokre, or what's his name. They're looking at the striker anyways. Okay. For them to be looking for a striker, that means something might be going on. Something might be going on. So let's wait and see. So Victor Gyökeres, and the third one for me would be Victor Osimhen. So he will be my third on the list. And I like, and my reason is because he hasn't played in the Prem yet. So let me tell you why I said Isak, he's played in the Prem. Gyökeres has played in the Championship in England before. So he understands the rigors of playing in this league, like with the kind of the way the league is. And before he went to Sporting. So I'm saying, like, I want a player who's played in the league before, because this season we can't afford somebody who hasn't played in the league yet. No matter how talented you are, you're moving to a new country, you're settling in a new house, you're getting used to the environment, finding your feet, training. They want you to hit the ground running and want you to be the guy that gloriously just scores. Not everybody can be Haaland. It doesn't work that for everybody. So I want to eliminate every other reason why this striker should not be successful and just give them enough to be successful at the beginning. That's the reason why Victor Osimhen is third on my list. Not because I don't rate him. Skill-wise, I rate him. But that's my reason.
All right. Well, we'll see, because I feel, well, like I said, it's just that one that striker is just the fine margin. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's Pep Guardiola, and like I'm just talking from an outsider. I just feel for you to be able to take it from Pep, you need to be as good as him too. Like, you just need to be that 1%.
You need to be better than Pep to take it from Pep. You can't be as good as him. You have to be better than him. Because it's the truth about it. Last season, it seemed like Arsenal had run away with the league at a certain point in time. But that game in hand, I just knew it. That game in hand, and the loss to Aston Villa. As soon as that happened, I mean, the way we ended the season last year, any other team in any other league would have won the league with what we did.
Very true. If the Pep was on, so the league would have been over. Like, even from that period, people came back from Dubai. The way people were going.
Yeah. So it's not a consolation like, oh yeah, we did very well, we lost it. I just feel like, okay, we edged closer and City actually went a notch higher, which means this is what we're playing for now. We're no longer playing boys, we're playing men. Like, these guys are willing to notch it up higher if they see you coming. They're willing to go higher. So it means you have to be better than them, and they have to now catch up to you. You can't take the risk of saying, let me just match them. Because if you match them, they'll go a notch higher.
A notch higher. Anyways, thank you so much, Dayo, for coming. Thank you so much, man.
Appreciate you, brother. Thanks for inviting me.
No problem. And please, guys, do not forget to like, do not forget to subscribe. And also, I'll put Dayo's YouTube channel in the description below. I'll be telling him to start. So, guys, go and subscribe to Dayo's channel, okay? All right, Dayo. Thank you so much, man. Thank you.
Thank you, Ahmed. Appreciate it, man. We'll do this when Arsenal and Man City play. We'll make sure we do this. We'll make sure we do this.
All right, no problem. No problem, man.
And so we can give our analysis on exactly, and you'll see from me, this is going to be mentality. Mentality wins us this league this season, I'm telling you. 114 points.
Like I always say to my friends, in Pep we trust.
I'll
see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.